So, is this your first time on a casting couch?
It is, what?
Welcome to the Broken Vinyl Podcast, guys.
Oh, great.
I am here today with one of my personal best friends that I haven't seen in a long time, actually. It's been 2 years.
It's about 2 years since we last saw each other.
This is one of my closest friends. He goes by Alan.
What's up?
How have you been, man? It's been a long time.
It's been fun. I've done nothing but work and stayed home. I want to do more things that I've been planning to do, but I haven't gotten around to it.
And we actually had a discussion about that, which you guys will probably see later on in the near distant future. But on to the topic at hand of what I wanted to talk about, because you're the movie guy, and I've always known you as the movie guy.
So does a lot of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you are that guy. You are him when it comes to cinema.
Oh yeah.
Hell, I honestly wouldn't say that would have known movies as much as I do, or I would have really gone into it as much as I have without you and your prior knowledge to it. You introduced me to like the depths behind movies, because honestly, as a kid, I didn't take movies that serious. I never knew that there was like more nuances to it. There was stories behind just the lighting, or even just the characters and their emotions, and
I find it more fascinating when you see things.
It makes it more interesting.
Oh yeah, like I don't know if you know, in Lord of the Rings, there's a moment where Viggo Mortensen's character, he deflects a blade. There's a lot of details behind that whole thing. For example, the costume behind the orc who threw the dagger. It was really hot that day, and his hand makeup and all that was starting to sweat, and so that was supposed to happen. His face was also really sweaty. He was a bit blurry vision during that part.
Okay.
Originally it was supposed to just go by Viggo Mortensen's character. That didn't happen, and when they used a fake dagger, it was more flimsy. It didn't look real enough, so they used like more of a real dagger for that moment. Again, a lot of variables did not come in contact in that situation, with the whole blurry vision, the hand slowly melting, and the real blade. He accidentally threw it directly at Viggo Mortensen, and potentially could have actually either harmed or actually could have killed Viggo Mortensen. And the moment where he completely smacked the blade out of the way was not supposed to happen either. That was just his reaction. Completely instinct just took over, and he just deflected that blade entirely, which made that scene way more awesome. Than just the blade just going by him.
I've never seen those movies, but that's actually pretty great.
It's so great.
That's pretty great.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so that occurred. A lot more things that involves those movies. Viggo Mortensen actually really injured himself a lot. He busted his toe open for one scene because he had to do it 31 times of kicking a helmet, and on the 31st time it busted open. And when you see his scream in that movie, that was his legit scream in that scene. It was so great. But yeah, and so on other things besides those movies that I find very fascinating about. But yeah.
So what was it that got you into looking more into cinema than just what you see on the screen?
I would say, really enough, Christopher Nolan and Michael Bay, I think really helped out on a lot of things here and there. For Dark Knight, the Dark Knight, when that movie came out, and I saw a lot of practical effects and all that, the truck being launched, I was like, that's cool. I didn't know they did. I didn't know they computer generated that. And my brother's like, no, that was real. I'm like, what? That was my honest reaction when that movie came out. He was like, yeah, that happened, and they used pistons to launch the thing. I was like, holy crap, that's so cool. And so that intrigued me more. And seeing Michael Bay movies with all explosions, as much as people hate them, I actually thoroughly enjoyed those movies entirely. And seeing how a lot of those practical explosions occurred, and I was like, that's awesome. I didn't know that he had that was legit. People would not be afraid of being near those if they wanted to and whatnot. Yeah, so I think Christopher Nolan and Michael Bay really steered more into the movie involvement that I wanted to be depth into and whatnot. Storytelling wise, I think Quentin Tarantino pushed storytelling to a whole new level that I wanted to explore depthly.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah. For example, Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
Even with those movies being scene for scene in different areas, it still tells a amazing, hilarious story even if you're not in order like in other movies here and there. So he also helped me out storytelling wise. But yeah.
I need to. I'm gonna be honest with you.
What's up?
I need to give Pulp Fiction another rewatch because the first time I watched it, which was pretty recent,
Right.
I didn't like it as much as I thought I would.
Yeah, I understand.
Like, I wonder if it was because I was maybe half asleep watching it. No, not half asleep, but it was just like maybe I just wasn't in the right zone for it.
Like you're maybe like exhausted or something.
Maybe, yeah, most likely exhausted.
Your mind wasn't like fully developed or whatever. You were just like kind of either woozy or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
okay, I get it.
There's a lot of those movies where it's just like I need to give a rewatch to.
Oh yeah.
But I know there's a lot of like it bugs me knowing that I haven't seen a lot of the classics that I know I should.
Like which movies have you not seen?
The Godfather movies.
It's a funny story. I fell asleep during the first one.
Really?
Yeah, it was right after he pulls the bed covers and there's a horse head there. And about like 5 minutes after that, I passed out. I was really tired that day, first of all, but I have not gone through to watch that movie again. I should, but I haven't.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
So, what are what movies that we consider classics that you still need to see that are in your bag of like I need to watch still?
There's a lot. Godfathers is an obvious one.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, Scarface is another one that I need to watch.
Me too.
I've only seen like the first like 30 minutes, and then I'll go. Also, it was at night I passed out, but I need to rewatch that again. The cool classic movie I haven't seen. Wizard of Oz.
Really?
Yeah, I have not seen Wizard of Oz.
It's really hard for me to go back and watch that again, knowing like the things that happen behind the camera. It was really dark.
I've heard a lot. Like some people, I'm not saying what happened, but when they're trailing off into like the yellow brick road and there's something in the background.
Yeah. Yep.
I did not know that happened.
Me neither.
Yeah.
And then someone pointed it out, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, and so they like swapped it for like some bird in the background.
Yeah, they swapped it out.
Yeah, so I was like, oh wow, okay.
Or how the Tin Man's paint was filled with toxic chemicals or something like that. That was really messing him up, and the lion suit was made out of actual lion.
Oh yeah, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, there was something else going on too about the lead actress who played.
Yeah.
What was her name?
It's gonna be bothering me until
Dorothy.
Dorothy. Yes. If you had not said it, I probably would have said it out loud. Later on, we're on a completely different subject.
I've done that
constantly.
too. I do that too. But yeah, Dorothy. There was something going on with her too, but that's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's why like whenever I watch like I've seen scenes on like say like it will scroll on my For You page or something like that on anything I'm looking at, it'll come up and I just like I get uncomfortable.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way.
Especially since it's known to be a classic, and then people like I really enjoy that movie. It's one of my top movies of all time. I'm like,
yeah. You ever seen the movie Exorcist?
Oh, no.
No.
But I know like almost everything about it there is to know about it. I just never had the chance to see it.
Did you hear anything that happened like behind camera?
I think so.
Like there was a plane crash of like a certain amount of people who were specifically working on that movie after that movie came out. On set there was like just the whole room specifically where the exorcism was taking place in that movie, and that's in that scene or whatever, was completely covered in white, like snow entirely, out of nowhere. There was like a broken AC during that time, but there was a lot of like bad vibes the whole time and other stuff here and there. It's really creepy.
That's really creepy.
When you find more stuff about that behind the movie than just...
That's what I did hear. I think that is exactly what I heard about that movie, was that there was a lot of like really supernatural stuff going on during the time of making that film.
It was just weird.
And it only makes you wonder, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like to the people that don't believe in shit like that, like the supernatural, it's like...
It's gotta be like...
Come on. What do you call that?
Coincidence.
Right?
Is another word for it. Divine intervention could be another one or whatever, or it's just something that should not be touched.
Did you see the trailer for the new one that they're doing?
I have not. I should though.
It looks interesting. It looks like they're really trying to go back to the old, to like how the first one was.
Yeah.
but they're doing it with 2 girls instead.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool idea.
It's gonna be interesting.
Have you seen Evil Dead Rises?
Yes, I actually have it right somewhere over
It's
there.
such a great movie.
It's so good,
It's
right?
so great. My girlfriend has never seen the Evil Dead movies. I've
Me
seen.
neither.
Oh really? The
Yeah.
first two. First off, there's a really bad moon in the movie. Like if at some point when you see the cabin, there's
Is it like a prop, like a bad
no.
prop?
So like at some point when you watch the first movie, there's a moment where it's a cabin at night and there's a moon, right? It's clearly like someone just placed the moon edited wise. You clearly see like a blue frame around the moon.
It's like a stock photo.
Like a stock
It
photo.
says stock in it, like Getty Images.
Yeah. It's when me and my brothers were watching that and Ball wanted to show us that movie, we were just laughing our asses off anytime that movie appeared. It's so great. Other than that though, like everything else throughout the movie, it's such a fun watch.
And yeah, like I always hear that nothing but good things for the most part. That they're always fun, and of course I love Sam Raimi as a director,
100%.
and also who's the main guy who plays Ash,
Bruce
right?
Campbell.
Bruce Campbell, like those two go like
They're
the 1 and 2
such
combo.
a great.
They're so good.
Oh yeah, but so when we were watching the second movie, we're eating pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Bad fucking decision. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss or not.
Very bad.
But
No,
it is
go
a-
ahead. I don't give a shit.
It is a bad decision to eat pizza when you're watching the second movie.
Yeah.
Specifically the second movie.
Because I know they're gory.
Oh, 100%. The first 5 minutes, we could not eat pizza. But my brother tried to take a bite, and during that scene, he's like using his chainsaw hand, cutting open, and there's a bunch of blood, gory stuff in that scene. And my brother was trying to take a bite. He's like, "Nah, I can't do it." My second brother, he opens the box. He goes to grab it. As that scene's happening, he's like, "Can't happen." I'm like, "Screw you guys." I have a pizza. I took a bite. As that scene's happening, I'm like, this is a mistake. I can't eat that now. But yeah, the whole movie is just great. But there was just an uneaten box of
It's
pizza.
just hard to watch
Oh yeah,
while eating.
it's not great to eat, but regardless, it's a great movie to watch entirely.
Like Evil Dead. So like going back to Evil Dead Rise.
Right.
That one caught my eye. I appreciated it for its cinematic, or for its use of cinematography.
Oh, 100%.
And how they captured scenes, like the elevator scene when the mom's getting possessed.
Yeah,
Seeing it behind the scenes and how they did it was just crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like I have so much more respect for that actress. Like she
100%.
acted her ass off in
entirely.
that movie.
It was so great. It was such a great homage too to The Shining.
There was a lot of great homages.
100%. But no, that was.
Oh yeah, the blood in the elevator. I was like,
When that opened up, I was like, oh, I'm so happy.
I know the moment I seen it coming in, I seen it filling up. I was like, I know where this is going. I just hope they get the
It's just
shot right.
Ding, and it just starts exploring. I was like,
Oh,
that's
it was
so,
so
great. That was awesome. But no, when my girlfriend was watching that, again, never seen the movies, had nothing prepared or anything like that. I told her, you need to watch these before you watch this one. She's like, nah, I think I'm gonna be fine. The first 5 minutes, when someone's scalp gets torn off, she immediately looked away. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yes, this is what I wanted.
I was so ready for her to react like this.
Oh, it's so great. I was laughing my ass off, and she was just terrified. I'm like, I told you ahead of time. Should have watched these.
Yeah.
And she's like, I regret it. I'm like, too bad. We're watching the whole thing.
The introduction
Oh,
was so strong. It was a very bold decision of them to start off with the ending.
Oh, dude, that was like, it was so great.
I had no idea what was going on, and I was like, "Where are we going with this?" I expected a mom,
Yeah.
and then it goes like,
It
what was it, like a day later? I was like,
Yeah.
how is this all happening in a night? But it makes sense. Like
Yeah.
they can manage, and oh my gosh, just the
Everything.
opening scene was so good,
The
and
opening scene-
how they shown the title card with it coming out from the background.
That was phenomenal.
Well done.
100%. Everything else, like from the possessions, the deaths and everything, like the things that they were putting. I know it's probably like obviously like editing
Right.
and all that or something like that, but there's a moment where like she's eating glass.
Oh yes, the
Dude,
glass
that
coming out of the
part-
throat.
That gave that.
I
I
was
could
like-
not watch that scene, but I kept watching because it was so cool.
I kept watching, but I was like, whoa, whoa! I kept like backing up.
Oh,
each time.
dude, it was so great. Oh man, but like everything beyond that, the how they like took turns and everything
Yeah.
like that. It was such a great watch.
Even I gotta say the meta like I guess, humor to it was where in the beginning where they shown all like. Okay, so they shown it was like right at the introduction,
Right.
and they show the possession scene or those possession shots,
Right.
where it's like the demon like going to chase
Yes.
chase after him, and it ended up being just a drone.
Yeah.
I love the meta behind that. That
great.
was so good.
They did that in the first movie, I think the second movie as well, where literally you're the camera and you're just chasing Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
That was so great. I was like, holy crap, are we doing this again? And then drone happens like, I hate you. But that was great. I love that, but I hate you.
Yeah, right when I see that scene, I was like, I see what you did there. And then they did it again for the mom.
It was a great
I love how they captured those. They're so
100%.
good.
It was so great. Other things that came out, Guardians.
Guardians 3?
Guardians 3. My girlfriend thought it was going to be like the first two, where it was more campy and hilarious and whatnot, and
Oh,
I was like,
man.
no.
Do you not tell her anything before these movies?
I tried to. She doesn't want us to get spoiled. Something small, she doesn't want to get spoiled for.
Okay, so I do. Here's my thing.
Right.
To avoid spoilers, really, I go 2 trailers and I'm done.
That's a good.
Because you know how they release a teaser trailer, and then a trailer 2,
Yeah.
a full trailer.
Yeah. Teaser.
So it's like
it gets you like, here's what's going on in like 3 seconds. Or
yeah,
whatever.
and if that like they'll go teaser trailer 1, then trailer 2.
And normally, like trailer 1's like it's showing like some funness
Yeah.
for it. Then the second one is like, all right, here's what's actually going to happen and whatnot.
Exactly.
It gives you like some brief stories about like what's occurring and whatnot. She doesn't want to watch them because she feels it's completely spoiling and whatnot.
No, I'd like to disagree, but I can see where she's going from there.
I get it too. It doesn't help though that her dad, when Revenge of the Fallen came out, her dad says, "All right, I don't want you guys crying when Optimus dies," right when she's about to watch the movie, and it's like, why would you say that?
Why? What?
Yeah, so she doesn't want anything close to being spoiling because of that moment, and she doesn't want it completely risk-free and whatnot, just to enjoy the full view, which I do get, 100%.
That's messed up, though.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
it's messed up.
Wow.
It's such a big moment,
That's
and
huge.
and you just say that to their face right when the movie comes out. It's like, why? But yeah, so I was like, it's not gonna be the first 2 Guardians movies. It's gonna be way more serious, and it's gonna be way more sad, especially
It's a pure Rocket origin story, and if you know anything about Rocket's origin story, it is depressing,
it's
painful to watch.
but it's so good. Like, I wish like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I want to say happy. Like I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know how it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because every variation is different, and so I'm like, I don't know what route they're going to take and whatnot, and how epic something is going to be because of that. And when he comes back to that moment and sees like, basically like what's there now,
man,
I was like,
yeah. Seeing that the cycle really never ended.
It doesn't, and I was like, I feel great for Rock at the end.
Yeah.
Especially like what he does, and it's like, I'm so happy.
Bradley Cooper acted his ass off
so
in that movie.
great.
His voice acting, like you feel
is
it in everything
phenomenal.
he says. It's beautifully done.
It feels more like impactful and emotional when like an actor does that.
And it's one of those things too where if you go back to the first movies, to the first 2,
You can feel his pain.
you start being like, damn, they really left that there and we had no idea.
Yeah. Well, thought we were never going to see that or like involved with that. No, they were letting you know this is going to happen. And when I was like, that's awesome.
It is a beautiful thing.
And
And
Yeah.
very painful.
Very painful. The music, like,
The soundtrack itself.
it gives more of like, instead of like happiness, like freaking the Jackson 5 in the first one.
Yeah.
And everything, like how it's all happy. It's like, yeah, this one's definitely more emotional.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's really sets a tone for Creep in the very beginning. It's like, yeah, this is what we're getting into. Better get ready then.
Exactly. Like,
But yeah.
what do you think of the secret ending with them showing the new Guardians?
I was very happy.
I was pretty happy too.
I was extremely
King
happy.
Groot.
Oh, dude, like everything that, who he's with and what, I was like, that's awesome.
I'm still
That's
kind of
good.
questionable on Adam Warlock's choice, but
On like how he is or
just how they adapted the character as a whole. Like I was okay with him being a kid and being still having a childish mind and then being like, well, it's your fault you let him out early, you know.
Right.
He's still a kid. But
Everything-
as far as joining the Guardians in the way he did,
You're right. That is kind of like
Him in the suit just made me feel awkward. He looks so awkward in the suit.
yeah. I don't know.
I hope they adjust it to where it's like, give him a Guardians-like suit, but with
Like his
give
like
him his
how he
suit,
would look,
you know.
100%. I get that. Now, have you ever seen like anything Adam Warlock in the comics or like in like the new Guardians game that came out like around?
I haven't played the Guardians game
It
yet.
is such a great game, like entirely, and the music choices are phenomenal.
I always
and,
hear about that. Yeah, I heard it won an award for that. Like
I think they did
the
yeah.
best soundtrack.
Yeah, with Adam Warlock in that game, completely different from the movie that we've seen.
Of course.
But yeah, no, like I'm happy with the way Adam Warlock is.
Me too. I agree.
But
And
I do
it's
agree
like
with the
we're
whole-
gonna get more of him. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah,
You know, and whoever takes up the mantle, because obviously James Gunn, these were his babies. Like the Guardians were his
it
bread
takes
and
care
butter.
of him 100%.
And now that he's gone to bigger properties, now he's with the DC universe, redoing that entirely. Whoever is gonna do it next, I hope they just do it either completely different, or I just say do it completely different. Do a different take on these Guardians, because
It's
at
not-
least you'll have an almost entirely different cast of characters as the Guardians. You might as well come at it with a different feeling.
Oh yeah.
Don't try to recapture what James Gunn did,
Because-
because usually when people try to do that, it just ends up
It doesn't
very
work
bad.
out.
It doesn't work out.
100%. I get that. There's like different variations of like different things that occurred where someone tried to like take over. The main one is Justice League.
Yeah, the Justice
The
League.
Justice League.
Yeah,
Where they completely kept like the actors obviously kept the same and whatnot, and the story completely off.
completely off.
Compared to Zack Snyder,
Horrible.
completely off. And when Zack Snyder's like, "Let me do this again" and whatnot, and everyone's saying, "Please let him give his variation." Obviously, there's a lot of different key variables that they kept the same from the Justice League. They just didn't add on to it as Zack did, and it's like, this is why this is better.
Exactly.
There's
so
way,
much better.
way more.
You watch it from the introduction alone, and you're like, "This is so much better already."
100%.
The tone is right. The soundtrack is so much better.
You're-
The fight scenes are so much better. The villain is believable.
100%.
He has a reason for why he's being a bad guy.
Yes.
Like, and then Darkseid is the bigger reveal out of all of it, which makes it so much better.
I think he doesn't get into the fight like in the animated movie. No, he is being like anticipated
Exactly.
in another project.
And each character in the league feels like they've earned their way there.
100%.
They feel like a team at the end. Everyone has a role. Like, and then the Flash's moment. One of the best moments I've ever seen in just cinema alone.
I told everyone when that movie was about to come out, I'm really excited for Cyborg's character development entirely.
he was the heart of the film.
100% heart of the film. What took me over, first off, I got what I wanted.
Yes,
the character
yes,
development from Cyborg.
definitely.
But when that Flash moment happened, I'm like, this, I am so happy for.
From the soundtrack to the
100%
way it
this-
was captured to that whole moment leading up to it, you don't know it's coming.
You don't. It just occurred.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, here's my shot. I have to take it. Otherwise, the world's gone.
It's either life or death, literally in that moment.
And just occurs, and it's just like everything just started being rebuilt and everything.
The way they captured that whole thing
It's
was
so great.
immaculate. Just everything just in rewind.
It was so,
So good.
phenomenal.
And then it leads into Cyborg's full story arc right after that,
100%.
saying like I'm not a monster and I'm not alone. Like, oh, it's beautiful.
I have others with me, like me, who are willing
Exactly.
to be with me. Yeah, that was great. That's why I love that movie to death. I've watched that
Yes.
movie about like 15 times.
And it's a 4-hour movie.
It's a 4-hour
I'm
movie.
so glad. People, you know how crazy I was looked at? People looked at me like you're crazy for watching a 4-hour movie like 8 times, or I think it was.
Yeah, no, I watched that movie 15 times, and then like 3 times in just.
You think I'm crazy?
Justice is Gray, only because for some reason when the movie's in gray, Bruce Wayne's car looks way more
So much better.
way more sexier in gray than the colored one. I loved it so much.
If it wasn't for the Speed Force looking so good with color, I would watch it more in black and white,
It's
but
so good.
I prefer more the color still.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Superman's suit in black. Oh my gosh. Well, I just love
in
black
gray,
suits
it still looks good.
in order. Yeah. Just entirely, I love black suits.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. All of that just always works well for me.
It works phenomenally.
Especially with Superman. I never expected Superman to look so good with
A black suit.
just a black suit.
It's so great.
If they would have went entirely with the mullet, like they said they were gonna,
Oh,
and
dude.
the beard,
I'd be so happy.
you would have 11 out of 10. Like just an
100%.
add-on. What did you What did you think of that add-on scene that they did with Jared Leto's Joker? How did you feel about his performance?
That scene alone, I actually believed him as Joker.
Yes.
Than in the Suicide Squad movie.
Agreed.
100%. Because it literally gave off like a Batman Joker, like conversation that they would normally have in like other variations that they would compared to Suicide Squad. I hated mainly his role in that, along with everything else in that movie. But his part in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I actually believed him to be Joker in that scene. It was so great.
It was. I love how I love the costume design on him too.
Oh, 100%.
His design, like, it looked like he was wearing a nurse gown
Yeah.
with a SWAT vest,
Yeah.
and it was something I never expected. I wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
It looked brilliant. Snyder removed the tattoos and everything too,
Yes.
which I would have been okay with regardless.
Eh.
Like, it worked so well.
I could
His
take it
long
with you.
hair is back.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It looked so good. I
Yeah.
couldn't get enough of that moment.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that moment.
There was a part of me when after that movie came out and The Flash was being announced that it was going to be a Flashpoint movie. There was a part of me that I did want the Snyderverse to continue, but after hearing that James Gunn and Peter Safran is taking over the helm of DC, I'm like, I'm okay with this. I'm 100% okay with.
I was gonna ask you earlier, like, how do you like coming out of Guardians 3 or just 1 through 3
Yeah.
and seeing what he's done for the MCU and a little bit of the DCU
Mm-hmm.
so far? How do you feel about him taking the helm, like half of it with
Peter
you know,
Safran.
with Peter Safran?
I was so excited when this was announced.
Thank you.
Entirely. I told my brother because he loves James Gunn entirely.
I love James Gunn.
100%. And when I told him that Peter Safran is going to be co-directing DC from now on, he's like, "Who's the other guy?" I'm like, "Want to take a guess?" he was like, "Who is it?" I'm like, "He did Guardians." He's like, "James Gunn." He was so happy. He lit up like as if like an 8-year-old saw like a giant mech suit out of
Oh,
nowhere.
man.
And he was so excited. I could not wait for anything else that he launched. And what's great about James Gunn being in control of DC is that he doesn't go for like obviously like Superman, Batman, Hal Jordan, or anything so like everyone knows and loves. Like Guardians, it wasn't well known in the Marvel universe and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a little thing.
Yeah,
It made it into a
he literally made them into what they are now.
Exactly.
Huge.
and he's doing the same thing for the DCU. I love that so much. Like I get Superman has to be like there.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
You're gonna get what you want, but more. There's more to it. He's gonna make you love characters you probably never even heard of. Look what he
Exactly.
did with Polka Dot Man,
And Peacemaker.
right?
No one knew Peacemaker.
Right?
Oh.
And now John Cena is like arguably coming out as one of the best actors to come out of the WWE,
And
because of these roles.
100%. No one knew who Polka Dot Man. Well, they did probably know Polka Dot Man only through like
As a joke.
As a joke, just like Calendar Man or Condiment King.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like if James Gunn touched Condiment King, he'd be another great character.
If you can somehow make Condiment King somewhat threatening,
That is
Take my
phenomenal.
money.
That is great.
Take my money.
100%. Man, no one knew who Peacemaker was. Nobody knew who Ratcatcher was. I didn't even know who Ratcatcher was.
Me neither.
No, I didn't know who Bloodsport was.
Yeah.
All I heard was James Gunn's touching these characters. Here's what they are and what they're like. Javelin, I never heard who
you had
this
me at
was.
King Shark and Harley Quinn, if I'm being honest. I've
100%.
always wanted a live action adaptation of King Shark. And,
And-
to see
and like
it
a
was also
real-
Sylvester Stallone voicing
I
him.
was like,
so good.
Yes.
Yes.
Everything else, I'm like, Idris Elba involved? Awesome. John Cena?
Right.
Cool.
Margot Robbie's returning as
Margot
Harley.
Robbie?
Nice.
Phenomenal. Everyone else, like, what's his name? David Chaplin? No, not Chaplin. The guy who played Polka Dot Man.
I think you're on the money.
I know his name
I
is David.
think.
But like him being involved like in Dark Knight, I was like, I liked his character in Dark
He
Knight.
just loves superhero, like he
100%.
just loves comics.
100%.
He's been in a lot of like Marvel and DC properties
Yeah.
because, like you said, he's been in Nolan's universe,
Yeah.
and also he's been in 1 and 2 of the Ant-Man movies.
Yes.
I think he's in all 3 actually. He's in all 3, but he plays a different role
Yeah.
in the 3rd one. One of the Holes guy.
Yes.
That's him.
Yeah. But yeah, when he got announced that he's gonna be in like a big role, I'm like, awesome. He deserves that. That's
He deserves
great.
it, yes.
100%. And so on and so forth. I'm like, I'm in love with this. I love this casting. I love the characters. I have no idea. I'm sure he's doing great.
Pause for a second.
What's
He's
up?
Calendar Man in the animated Batman movie, The Long Halloween.
Yeah. So great. I loved
Great.
it.
Yes. But back to what you were saying.
But yeah, everything from all the casting and all that, the characters, the designs, and what they're trying to go for and whatnot, I loved. When the trailer came out and I saw a certain starfish in the fucking
Oh yeah,
TV.
Star of the Conqueror.
When he was in the TV, I'm like, no, I know those feet. I know what
Yes.
that is. No way. I was so happy for everything else that was coming. Legit, take my money.
Yeah.
I could not wait. And when that movie came out, I was not disappointed at all.
I completely forgot. I have a Star of the Conqueror cover
really?
Funko right there.
That
yeah.
is awesome.
Of when the Justice League first fought them.
That is cool.
Yeah. I'll pull that out later. But yeah. That movie certified 10 in my opinion.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that movie too.
Yeah.
I feel like I give 10 out of 10 movies ratings out so much.
But that's because they're really good movies.
It's because they're great movies, you know. It's
Yeah.
hard to give them out,
Mhm.
but at the same time, it's so easy to give to the ones that deserve it.
100%. Normally, like for Wonder Woman, when that movie came out, I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
I would say like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. The second one came out, I'm disappointed.
Very
I
disappointed.
Really did not like that movie at all, and I forced myself to watch it. The same way I forced myself to watch Last Jedi. I did not like that movie at all.
Well, I'm not a Star Wars guy, so I can't say
It
nothing.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, my friend, who is a Star Wars fan, I feel like he doesn't want to admit they're bad. So whenever I mention that movie, he's like, we don't talk about that. I'm like,
Yeah. He definitely doesn't want to admit
this is
it.
a bad movie. He's like, yeah, but Rise of Skywalker. I'm like, I don't like the way that movie's gonna go through. He's watched the movie, and I questioned him like, did they put this in the movie? Did they do that? Did they do this with the character? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's just not good writing.
It's
He's
not.
like, it's good though. I'm like, no.
You can bat all you want about it.
I don't like those movies.
It's inevitable on
I
what
like
it is.
Force Awakens. I will admit, I do like the way the movie went through. Everything after that, I hated. I don't like those movies at all. They are not. I don't like to watch bad movies, and I forced myself to watch it. It was a bad movie. But yeah, in my opinion, at least, it was a bad movie.
Like, if I hear a movie or show is really bad and it's on my queue, I'm still gonna watch it regardless with an open mind.
I will give it a shot.
But at the end of the day, I will take note on what it is, you know. And at the end, I'm like, okay, so let's compare the notes to what I heard and what I saw.
Yes.
And yeah, if it does come out to be like that, I mean, sometimes I do appreciate things a little more because obviously,
Oh,
like
yeah.
we do appreciate the little things of how they create certain things because
Oh,
it does make things worthwhile as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, like the Grinch, for example. Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
Yes.
I enjoy that movie so much more because of what because I found out how Jim Carrey's like process was of going through that role. He was literally feeling what's that word? Where you're like in tight spaces. You can't.
Claustrophobic.
Yeah, it made him really claustrophobic to be in all that prosthetic, all that makeup, and that whole thing. He literally learned how to like breathing. I think it was different breathing techniques in order to like stay
It
functioning
was from
in
like
that.
military people that he learned from as well, and so
Plus the context too. I would have felt so overwhelmed.
I'd be so. You ever seen this Netflix series? It's The Movies That Made Us.
I haven't seen it, but
The way they talk about it, first off, when they talk about Ghostbusters, legit, it feels like how I went through in high school.
Really?
Where everything came out so fast. It was because at some point I had really bad grades. And I needed to do drama and because of those bad grades, I couldn't go through drama,
Uh-huh.
and so there was a time where through my class I had to write everything down and take multiple tests every day, constantly for like 2 weeks until the day started. At least wanted a D, at most. And on the day where like I turned the last thing I needed in, and I had like a 3 point. It was like a 39 point something or whatever, and I needed. No, it wasn't that. It was something. It was like from a 0.1 less from what I needed from a D, and so I was at home. I was just waiting. I'm like, I just kept like reloading the page of what I needed, and I just kept saying F, and it wasn't until like 30 minutes before school started or before drama started that I finally swapped to a D, and I was so happy. And so I was like, do I go there? Do I stay home? Do they need me? So I'm like, it's better to go there and not be needed than to be needed and not be there and whatnot.
Exactly.
So I went there, and I just felt like entirely they could not do it regardless because they didn't have confirmation that he swapped the grades and whatnot. And so I'm like, all right, well, I'm still stay here until we get confirmation and whatnot. And I've been running around everywhere, and I felt so disappointed that I got through all this and I wasn't able to do anything until my teacher's like, says my name out loud in the band room, and I'm like, yeah. She's like, go get dressed. I'm like, yes. And so I started booking it to the dressing room, and the guy who was going to dress up as me, as my character, I'm like, take off your clothes right now. He's like, what? I'm getting it. He's like, yes. But yeah, 100%. That's what Ghostbusters, how they described it, felt like for me.
Really?
Yes, because when they were writing the movie, it was completely like, it wasn't finished when they were writing the movie. When they started making the process of the movie,
Yeah.
the story was not finished, and so they're like, we gotta finish the story. And they're like, who's going to be the characters and whatnot. And there's a lot of difficulties about who was going to play who and whatnot. But what they didn't know is that Bill Murray was going to be in the movie. The reason why I said the air quotes was because Bill Murray never confirmed it.
Shit.
They were like, so is Bill Murray going to be involved? And Dan Aykroyd's like, I think he is. At least that's what Dan Aykroyd said. He's like, I sent a message. Never responded. Apparently, the whole time he was in France. So when the movie started,
Shit.
So when they were starting to film the movie entirely, Bill Murray shows up. It was like, okay, sweet, yeah, I was right. See, Bill Murray shows up. I wasn't lying at all. And everything else behind that, when they were doing editing for those movies, all those were one takes. First of all, the ending where the ghosts are like spreading out to the city, all that was first takes entirely because all they were doing, they were running low on time when the movie has to appear. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, and so the design studios and the artists and all that, they're like, here, they're going to check it anyway. So if they don't, like, they can send it back or whatever. The guy who got the editing, he's like, oh, is this it? Sure, yeah, put it in. They kept doing that entirely. He's just like, all right, we haven't heard anything. Let's just keep sending it in. The guy's like, all right, sweet, next part.
And it became a classic.
It became a cult classic. It was so great, and it was such a phenomenal.
It's shit
thing.
like that makes you want to really appreciate
100%.
movies, like these movies more.
Oh yeah. Anyways, back to the freaking the Grinch, where it felt like exhausting and whatnot. There was an episode that did the Elf, and there were so many legal issues because of how the characters' designs and all that, and how they needed puppets and whatnot. They never had legal contracts of whether they can use the designs of those characters.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt so exhausting to deal with, especially if you're Jon Favreau in that movie, because he really wanted to make that movie. But there were so many things he had to do to try and get that ball rolling. And if they don't get the contracts by the time the movie releases, they can't release the movie. And so it's just so... I would feel exhausted, especially if I was in his shoes. I'd be like... I'd give up before I even finished the movie.
Agreed.
Yeah, good for him though that they finally got it through, and it just felt like a giant like weight just lifted off of him, and it became like a #1 like Christmas movie cult classic that a lot of people enjoy.
And to this day, it's a tradition for a lot of families to go and watch that during the holidays.
100%.
Because that's what it is for. That's what the Grinch is to my family. Me and my sister watch it literally almost every day during December.
Jingle All the Way for me.
Which one?
Jingle All the Way. Arnold.
Really?
Yeah, that's my Christmas movie.
What's your go-to Halloween movie then?
My go-to Halloween movie. Seeing it now after the 2 years when I first saw it, Trick or Treat is my go-to.
I've never seen that one.
It is such a great movie. So there's like 4 different stories. Each one has like its own like story to tell at the same time as all the other ones are also occurring. So you get like different perspectives of what's going on. And by the end of the movie, it feels like a giant circle at the end is like, I know what these people did. I know what happened to her friends and whatnot. I know what happened to this guy, and that explains what happens to these people at the very beginning of the movie. It's just so great. It's such a phenomenal movie that you should really check out.
I definitely will. Is it? Do you know where it's where I can watch it on?
We watched it on Prime, I think, if I remember correctly.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll check it out. But yeah,
Make
I can
sure
just
it's
look it up.
Trick, and it's a letter R.
Trick or treat. Yeah.
Trick or treat. Otherwise, you'll feel.
I know which one you're talking about because
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen the shirt so many times. Like
the
people
little,
wear that.
the little like costume guy.
Yeah,
with
then the
sack.
pumpkin head. Yeah.
That, I showed my girlfriend that movie. She loves every part of it. She didn't think she was going to. She loves Sam, the little pumpkin
need to
guy.
watch it. I was always like, because I've always seen it, and it's always got my curiosity going because I'm like, what's that movie about if it's such a classic?
Mhm.
But I never really read into it.
It's such a great movie.
So-
everything behind it.
What movies are you looking forward to coming out soon that you feel?
Coming out,
Um,
Gran Turismo. I
okay.
cannot wait for it entirely. Just because it looks fun entirely. I had another one in my head. The Last Voyage of the Demeter, the vampire movie that's coming out soon.
Didn't it already come out?
It probably did, and I probably didn't see it yet.
I heard it bombed.
Well, regardless, I still plan to watch it.
Yeah, I just kept seeing on social media. Yeah, I just kept seeing on social media. It was there's 2 Dracula movies out that bombed
Oh wow,
this year
that's not great.
with Renfield, Nicolas Cage's Renfield,
Okay. Oh yeah,
and also this one.
Yeah, okay.
Which sucks, but I
I'm
mean,
gonna
it's still worth.
check it out.
Yeah, still worth checking out.
Anything else around this month that
Blue Beetle.
I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Of course.
100%. Weirdly enough, I can't think of any movies outside of this month or the next one.
How you feeling about the Marvels?
I gave up on Marvel a long time ago.
Like just that character, or just the Marvel universe?
entirely.
Really?
Yeah, the only reason I watched Guardians was because James Gunn and everything, and
Uh-huh.
I just love Guardians entirely. Everything outside from Endgame, I kind of gave up on. I watched No Way Home, and I had fun. I knew I was going to love that movie. After that, I didn't care to watch Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, mainly
Mhm.
because like I heard that they didn't want Sam Raimi to do what he wanted and whatnot. They wanted to control, and Sam Raimi's like, I'll do what you want, but I'm just gonna mess it up for you, just like he did for Spider-Man 3, and that movie. Like as much people considered like the Godfather of Marvel, where the first one's great, second one is if not better, it's still
The
as
best.
great. It's still great.
Arguably one of the best
One
Spider-Man
of the best
movies
ones.
of all
And
time.
the third one, after rewatching it, that was one of my favorite Spider-Man movies when I was a kid, only because
Me too.
I loved seeing like the action scenes.
Mhm.
Rewatching it now,
It's pretty terrible.
it's a bad movie.
It's a really bad movie.
I love Sandman's parts. Sandman's parts were awesome.
He was supposed to have such a bigger role for it too.
Oh,
Like he
yeah.
was going to be the main villain, but Sony was like, "No, we want Venom. We want
100%.
Venom," and
Yeah.
they were like, "Okay, I guess we'll add him in."
Yeah,
Like,
and then just like, we're not gonna make him big. We're not gonna give him a deep voice. We'll give him Topher Grace.
so they're just like, "Here's the plot point of Venom as a whole,"
Right.
and then Sony said, "Topher Grace, take it or leave it."
All right. And so when
Work
I'm
with
watching that movie and I hear Topher Grace talking through Venom, and then the face shows up to Sandman, I'm like, you're not threatening at all. I don't feel threatened. I know your powers are like one of the most OPS ones. I don't feel it.
Mm-mm.
Even if I'm in Sandman's position, it's like, hey, we should be alliance. Blah blah blah. I'm like, I feel like you're weak.
Sandman just, even though he did get pretty much cut for most of what he was going for, what they were primarily going for in the movie,
Mhm.
he was definitely still a good heart in the movie.
100%.
He was great. Like
I like
Thomas Hayden Church did deliver on that.
He phenomenally did. I like the arc that they did for Green Goblin, James Franco's New Goblin, where he gave him like amnesia.
That was really sweet.
I
yeah.
thought that was like, it gave me like a new like, he's innocent again. And then
Yeah.
when they brought him back, I'm like, I still feel bad for you, but damn you.
Yeah, yeah.
The same way I felt for No Way Home when my sister, when we were watching No Way Home for the first time, when that movie came out, literally the day it came out, we were watching No Way Home. She watched all of the trilogies of Spider-Man. I was wanting her to show her Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, but she only watched the first one. And so Yeah, and so we were just watching No Way
Remember
Home.
we went to watch the second one together?
Oh, dude, that was so great.
It's a literal like classic moment in my
Oh,
head
yeah, I was
that
so
lives in my
happy.
head.
But yeah, so she's all caught up for Spider-Man, No Way Home and whatnot, and when everything was occurring and whatnot, she first off loves Green Goblin entirely because she feels bad for him the most, and she loves the way that he
It's a
is.
beautiful
It's
story.
a beautiful story. But when Tom Holland is fighting Green Goblin in the very end, first off, my childhood like came rushing back when I was like 4 years old. Seeing that, I'm like, please don't. I don't want this to happen. I was legit tearing up. My sister was crying because she loves Green Goblin.
I was sobbing watching that movie.
And then when Tobey Maguire shows up to stop Tom Holland, and I'm like, oh, thank God. And then Green Goblin stabs Toby. My sister's like, okay, kill this bitch. She was crying, and then the moment that happened, she's like, no, I don't care anymore. Kill him.
Suddenly, I have no remorse.
I don't feel bad now.
I want you to die in the
What
worst
you
way
just did?
possible.
I don't want to.
Willem Dafoe is just a
He was
fantastic actor.
phenomenal in that movie.
He knows how to put the innocence of Norman Osborn in his eyes,
Especially-
and then just put the absolute demonic, evil persona of the Goblin from his voice alone is just
100%.
amazing. And the whole apartment complex scene,
That part, oh my God.
amazingly
it was so
done.
great.
Amazingly done.
Can I just say, screw Lizard? Everyone else, like, I get he wasn't in the building when they were like, hey, this guy could actually help us.
Yeah.
But no, 100% he's like, we're going to cause havoc and whatnot. Leave him in the trailer. And, like, the moment that something goes wrong, he's like, oh, all right, we're starting now. Starts going
Yeah.
havoc. I'm like, screw you. There was
he was-
progress being made.
The whole time too, he was like waiting for shit to go down too.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, this is gonna end well, and I'm just waiting for it to happen.
Oh, yeah. But regardless, I hate that.
Yeah.
But I get why he did that. And I still like him for that purpose. But screw you.
Yeah.
It's the same way I feel about Homelander and The Boys.
Yeah.
As much as I get why everyone hates him, I hate him too. I can't deny he is not a great villain entirely.
Yeah.
100% through the way. And I hate him so very much.
Yeah.
I still like
I get so satisfied every time he gets his ass beat.
his ass beat,
Especially
or
that
something
one-
gets thrown in his face.
When he had to fight
Billy Butcher
Billy.
and Soldier Boy.
Yep. And then also
Huey.
Huey. Yeah.
That part, first off, the episode's great entirely.
If you know, you know. Basically, watch The Boys.
It is,
It's a great show.
It is great. But still, though, that fight alone.
What did they call it? Because it's based on the comic.
Oh, that name's engraved in my head. I
It's-
just want to see if you know it.
What's the title? It's Oh, I can't get it. Herogasm.
There it is.
You go. Herogasm is the title of that episode, and it lives for the name, to say the
It
least.
is great. I could not wait for that episode entirely.
Me too.
My friend was arguing because he was like, "You guys should watch Obi-Wan, like the new episode that's coming out."
Yeah.
Because I heard it's gonna be great. I'm like, "Nah, I'm going to watch like Human Centipede to get ready for Herogasm." I need to get ready
I'm
for.
never gonna watch
No,
those
100%
movies.
no. I'm going to make sure I watch something that ultimately makes me disgusted, makes me like get ready for some like shock value and whatnot, just so I can get ready for Herogasm. He's like, "Bro, it's a show. It's just a show." I'm like, "Okay, let me have this." He's like,
Right?
"But you should watch Obi-Wan. It's better." I'm like, first off, no. Secondly,
No.
it's Herogasm. Thirdly, no. I'm watching this.
Just no.
But yeah, I had like an entire live stream with my friends on Discord. First, I was catching everyone up just so we can watch. Eventually, because when they announced that they were going to do that episode,
Yeah.
I was like, "We gotta watch this." And my friend's like, "I haven't caught up yet." I'm like, "I don't care. We're watching the whole thing if we have to." And so we started watching. And then when that episode came out, I'm like, "Oh, dude, I can't wait. What's going to happen?" I was like, "Holy shit! I was not ready for any of this."
I know you like the whole time they were like teasing it too in the episode, like leading up into it,
Mhm.
even to the point where what was it? One of the heroes walks in and all you see is the reflection through his eyes.
Oh, that part was.
I was like, what's going
That
down?
is-
What's about to go down?
Oh. But yeah, everything else, including when A-Train dragged that man through the street, I was like, that. First off, that
Oh
that
my
scene alone
God, I
is
forgot
such an incredible scene.
I forgot about that.
It was awesome. I loved
I
that
forgot
whole
about that
sequence
scene.
entirely. And then finding out what happens
And then he
with
gets a
A-Train.
heart attack, right?
Yeah, and then
Oh
finding
my
out what
gosh.
happens with A-Train after that was like, First off, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Secondly, that sucks.
Yeah. Dude, I forgot how good that episode is. I'm gonna have to rewatch it too.
I have to. Then the riot control thing that they did for A Train, the Pepsi commercial, I laughed my
Was
ass off.
hilarious. That was so funny.
It was so great. I love how they do modern takes in this show entirely.
Yes.
Like when the
let me say, Soldier Boy, when so he's basically Captain America,
100%.
but realistically, we'll say,
right.
like the moment when he was walking down the sidewalk and he sees the gay couple and the little smirk he does, he's like, all right. He's like, this is what we're doing now.
Okay. All right.
That had me. Oh my god, that little moment, that little face he made just had me
Everything
dead.
Soldier Boy says entirely, like when he mentions
His delivery on everything is
100%.
just so good.
It's so great.
Jensen Ackles just
Is
as a
phenomenal.
whole,
It's so phenomenal.
he's Batman. Make him the new DCU Batman.
I want him to be Batman as well.
He wants to be too.
I know
So,
he does. I know
James
he-
Gunn, I hope you're listening to everybody.
Please.
When we say we want Jensen Ackles as the new Batman.
That'd be cool. Knowing him, he probably cast someone that's still cool. I would still like to see Jensen Ackles.
I'd love to see Jensen Ackles.
If they just announce that, I don't care if the movie's gonna be bad or good. When they announce it or whatever, I'm still gonna watch it.
Regardless,
It's so
Batman's my go-to, one of my go-to guys. So
Speaking of finding bad things, or like some, I guess, PR. Have you heard anything new about the live-action Snow White movie? Like
nothing good really. And then the lead actress, is just kind of dumbing it down more with her interviews.
It's just bad. First off,
And I loved her in Shazam: Fury of the Gods.
I forgot she was in that. I forgot who she was.
She was a great piece.
Yeah.
She was the love interest too of I forgot the boy's name, but
Which
yeah.
one?
The
Shazam or some other kid?
no, it was one of
okay.
the adopted kids.
Ah, okay.
The blue suit one. I forgot his name. He was the one that was like, I want to go on my own now and all that shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I forgot his name.
Yeah, well.
But yeah,
But still, though, like everything for that movie, I am avoiding. As much as I love Gal Gadot, she's not. I can't watch it because of her, especially since she's gonna have like very little screen time compared to the Snow White and whatnot. I can't watch that.
I'm not gonna either.
No.
I'm not really anticipating it at all.
No.
So, going into DC, I got two questions that I want to go off of. How did you feel about the Flash movie? We'll start there first.
Okay. I forgot I was gonna bring this up when we were talking about Snyder Cut when they announced the Flash Point Paradox and all
Yes.
that.
I was hoping we would tangent off.
Yeah,
on
I
there,
forgot to bring this up. When I first heard they were going to make that movie, I didn't care how the movie was going to go from the first portion of it.
Yeah.
Near the end, when he goes back and lets his mother die, my vision, I wanted it to continue through the Snyderverse, and when he shows up, it's just a decimated area.
That would have been so
Where-
awesome.
And he walks up, and it's the same spot where Ben Affleck's Batman was standing in during Batman vs Superman, and then out of nowhere he sees the Caped Crusader, not the Caped Crusader, Superman,
The silhouette,
and
yeah.
he's thinking hey, what's going on? Right, thinking he's still an ally, and then when he gets laser visioned, direct at him or whatever, and he just dodges what the hell, and starts chasing. It's a cool sequence where Superman's chasing Flash and whatnot.
I feel like something like that would have happened
I wanted something like that to happen.
originally.
And I wanted they shoot kryptonite missiles or whatever towards Superman in the far distance or whatever to cause some form of lead poisoning thing so he can't see, and Flash gets kidnapped after getting shot by Deathstroke, which I wanted.
Yeah.
And then him in a chair in a dark room where only lights on him, and we just slowly see every member of Batman's side one by one until Bruce Wayne walks in as Batman. I wanted to see that so bad. No, they didn't do that at all in the Flash movie.
At all.
I wanted that. I'm disappointed. I don't mind some of the things that they did in that movie.
But to know the potential that they could have done
It
with
could
this whole
have
movie.
been launched. It would have been so great.
Because, okay, here's my take. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. I loved the movie. I get it. The CGI is bad. I get it. I get it.
100%.
Aside from that, the story was great. Ezra Miller delivered. I don't care what's going on with his whole real life shit that he's got going on. As an actor and what he did for this role, he delivered on both Barrys.
100%.
As both Barrys. He played the annoying side of Barry that would have happened if he had both parents. He played the more mature side of Barry when he lost his parents. Like,
Yeah.
and the way those two tagged along so well in learning one after another after each other,
It's such a good
it
take.
worked so well.
It's so nice.
Michael Keaton's Batman, I'd say he delivered. I enjoyed him more now this time around because they gave him like special effects to work with.
Oh yeah.
And since we live in a time now where
Blue screen is like a modern thing.
where it's more of a modern thing, special effects, CGI, and you have stunt doubles. Obviously, they made his fight scenes look so good.
It's so better.
They were so good, and to add on to his theme, even adding his theme in to it, like it brought the nostalgia back for
the
me.
childhood that, like came back from that part.
And I have a new actress crush now with Sasha Calle as Supergirl. She is so bad. She is so fine, and she did so well as Supergirl.
Oh, yeah.
I loved her, and I really hope we get her. I hope they bring her back for Woman of Tomorrow,
That would be sick.
because she's getting her own solo movie, right? I would love if they keep her. It would be so good.
That'd be phenomenal. Another thing, of like James Gunn's entire like things that he has ready planned or whatever. Did you hear who's going to cast as Guy Gardner?
Yes, I do.
First off, I would never see this coming.
I know, right?
Secondly, I could see him as Hal Jordan because he loves to play Hal Jordan
Well, he was Hal Jordan.
in multiple different like animated movies and shows. Even
I forgot his name. What's his name?
Nathan Fillion.
There you go, Nathan Fillion.
The thing is, but hearing that he's going to be playing Guy Gardner, I'm like, first off, Guy Gardner alone. Apparently it's going to be Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart in this continuity.
Yeah, they're going to be doing a buddy cop kind of show for it, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, it's like if someone says this person's going to be playing Damian Wayne. We already know at that point from that information, the other three Robins are in this universe.
We're getting the Bat Family. They confirmed the Bat Family is going to be in this movie.
It's going to be
so
sick.
I am ready for that. Give me Nightwing. I've been waiting for a live action Nightwing for so long, and I'm not counting the Titans show because that shit was ass.
No.
So, and Red Hood. Red Hood's my favorite Robin. I need all of it.
I had an idea for a Nightwing, not like a Nightwing movie, but like a little sequence.
We were supposed to get a Nightwing
I know
solo
we were supposed to
movie.
get a Nightwing movie. It would have been great.
Man.
But no, I had an idea for like a cool little like sequence. First off, to introduce Red Hood entirely. Not even to show who it is, just to show that he's there. Or Nightwing's talking to him. He's like, "Are you the one killing all these like corrupted people and whatnot?" He's like, "Well, first off, I don't take credit for other people's doing. As much as they deserve it, I'm not doing that." And then it's like their little banters where he's like, "I thought it was gonna be." He's like, "No. Now, if you excuse me, I have my own thing to do." And it's like on top of like Wayne Tower at night, the lightning's occurring. He puts on his helmet, lightning flashes, and we literally see the entire outfit
Red
of
Hood
Jason
too.
Todd, Red Hood, and he's like, "Bad weather, huh? Only in Gotham." and then
it.
like that goes on to his own thing and whatnot. I was like,
That would have been
that
great.
would be a cool idea. If I was able to control Nightwing, I would add that in 100%. I don't care what the story is. I just want that little thing in there.
And no, I don't mind at all the actor who played Nightwing in the Titans show. I actually really enjoyed his take.
Oh, his take is
He
awesome.
looks the part as well.
It's phenomenal.
It's just the writing and the design on the suit. He had it was way too bulky of a suit,
Yeah.
especially for an acrobat. Like,
Yeah.
make it make sense, you know.
Yeah.
So, if they don't bring him back, I'm not sure who would be the right piece for Nightwing.
I liked him as Nightwing entirely.
I really did. I didn't really like the actor for Jason Todd. He was okay.
I feel like he was too short.
Yeah.
I liked him as a whole, but like as the character
I expected him to be bigger.
and taller.
Yeah.
If not,
He's got to
like
be
the
at least bigger than Nightwing.
because
Because he's more of he's been the powerhouse Robin.
100%. He's like more bulkier and like I think slightly taller than Nightwing, if I remember correctly. If not around his height. But regardless, like that's supposed to be him, not someone like half Nightwing size in that fight. Like, come on.
It didn't work.
I like
It
the
just didn't
suit,
work.
but again, the height was just way too noticeable. I did not like it at all. I mean, that's my thing on the Titans. I like the show. I didn't mind it.
I didn't even finish the final season. And they introduced Tim Drake's Robin in it too.
Yeah, they
He
did.
got his suit, and I seen the suit. It looks really dope.
Oh yeah.
But I just couldn't. The
Nah.
writing, you lost me.
Yeah.
You really lost me.
Yeah, I
like,
get that.
I went through the whole first season, enjoyed it. Second season, it was okay. Third season, mainly because it was Red Hood and it was our first live action adaptation of Red Hood, I stayed for it.
Yeah.
Did not enjoy it.
Nah. I haven't even finished it yet.
I love the actress for Raven. She's
she's
a great
great.
actress.
I love the actor for Garfield. Beast Boy.
Beast Boy.
Yeah. I liked how
He's
I liked
great.
How he did it.
I thought he delivered. I just didn't like how they wrote him
Yeah, no.
as a character.
Yeah.
It's like he had to earn these other animals. I'm like,
yeah.
come on.
Like I get like probably the budget didn't help, and the other had like only one.
It's a show. It's a TV
I
show
get
budget,
that.
so I get it. But
I don't know. I like Superboy.
he's great. Yeah,
Yeah, I
he's
liked him. I liked him and Crypto. Like I like those two.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like his whole episode by himself. I enjoyed that entirely, 100%.
I think it's fun when they do like the little Batman and Superman like showing them little like something of them,
Yeah.
but not an actor.
Yes.
Like first season, I think it was the first season
It was.
when they showed Batman in that nightmare sequence.
That was.
It was just the back of him.
We didn't even see Joker. It was literally just like.
Oh yeah, Joker as well. We saw the back of him too. That was it.
First off, the whole thing was great.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
I love that episode entirely, especially everything that like is destroying the Wayne Manor and like the Batcave.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that was happening. I was like, I'm in for the whole ride. I want to see how this ends. But yeah.
It was they were interesting takes.
Oh, yeah.
And like for Superman, they just shown like his boots.
Yeah.
In the I think it was the series finale of the show, like they shown Superboy actually like taking flight lessons with Superman himself, and he lands on the ground, and then so does Superman. All you see is his boots, and I was like, you know what, that's cool.
It's not bad.
We don't need an actor.
We
for
already,
that.
like we know who it is. The same when the Snyderverse trailer, when the Snyder Cut trailer occurred for the very first time, which was the first Justice League trailer, if I remember correctly, and we saw this little like sword. I can't remember the word, but we through Cyborg's freaking like little hologram of little-
Superman like flying up.
flying. When the first trailer showed up, my mind didn't even cross Superman. My mind went to Supergirl. I was like, because those look like female boots to me when I saw it.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm like,
There was a whole theory, like a bunch of theory videos going around. Like, is that Supergirl?
I'm
Like,
thinking Supergirl when I saw those boots. Because after that, we don't see that anymore in the trailers and the movie. I'm like,
yeah.
when did that ever show up? All right, whatever. I guess that the Flash poking through the glass, that never occurred.
That was so cool though.
That was a
that
great
whole
scene.
scene.
That scene
was so
It
good.
was such a great scene entirely.
And I love
loved
the
it.
little detail of like him like being very gentle when he's in the Speed Force, because he knows that every little movement he does is like very damaging. I love that.
That along with, first off, that was just like a headcanon thing.
Yeah.
Of him like poking, I guess, Iris.
Yeah, the way he's like poking at her like down towards his way,
Realistically-
just so he could softly put her down.
Realistically, through camera, he has to do that. Otherwise, they can't CGI her coat.
Yes,
Exactly.
yeah.
So that ironically worked out in their favor of him just barely like tapping on her to make sure that she stays safe and all that, which I found was a really cool take, and like that just works out. That was
Just the
even
whole
better.
take on like just like the realism of everything, like like him just even poking his finger
It
through
just-
the glass.
It just kind of like waved.
and it looked like liquid.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
That was great. The moment he turned and like the shoes just like torn apart.
Exactly.
That was a really cool like.
the physics of
detail.
everything was so
That was
well
great.
done.
I loved
And
that.
the lightning bolts on the shoes as well.
Oh, that was great.
Great touch. Just a great touch.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's funny. I had two questions for you.
What's up?
We answered both of them.
Oh, did we?
Because the first one I asked was what'd you think of the Flash movie?
Right.
And my second one, how are we feeling about Batman Brave and the Bold? And we literally
Oh yeah.
fell right into that naturally with Jensen Ackles earlier on talking about the Robins in the newer one. Like,
I cannot wait for Creature Commandos. I have no idea who those characters are. I have no idea what
me
they
neither.
even do.
And when I seen the cast, I was like, I'm in.
I'm going for this. I feel the same way like I did for Guardians, and I love those and I loved the first movie. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel the same way for this, along with the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I'm in for this. I don't care who he casts and who these characters are, what they are, and
I'm
what they
so
do.
happy that James Gunn is actually writing. I know it's kind of off,
Yeah.
but I love that he's writing and directing Superman Legacy.
I can't wait for that. As
It
well.
makes me very happy.
The guy who they casted, for
David
Superman,
Cornsweet.
he looks so good as like a
He
young
looks
Superman.
like him, like perfectly.
Oh, it's so great.
Like it's hard to really find
the
a person that fits Superman
Mhm.
since Henry Cavill,
yeah,
and you found him.
it's don't know how, don't know who you paid for, but
I don't think they confirmed who they have for Lex Luthor, but I heard it was a fight between the brothers. Oh, what are their names?
I didn't hear this.
One of them played as Pennywise.
What's
his
I
name?
just watched those movies.
The newer one.
Yeah.
Why is it in my-
Skarsgård.
Yes, the Skarsgård brothers.
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
they were fighting for the role of Lex Luthor.
That's cool. First of all.
Yeah, I can go for either one.
Oh yeah. Have you heard? First off, this is about Aquaman. But did you hear like the hilarious story between Patrick's what's his name, the guy who plays King Orm, Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you hear the story with Patrick Wilson, Jason Momoa, and the guy who plays Black Manta when they found out that Jason Momoa was going to be Aquaman? Because Patrick Wilson originally, when he got this offer, he was like, "Oh, sweet. So am I going to be Aquaman?" They're like, "Oh, you're going to be King Orm." King Orm? Okay, yeah, sure. And so he stuck with who he is. And then they found out who Jason Momoa is. He's like, "Oh, I need to bulk up." So he starts working out. And the guy who plays Black Man is like, "Why is he working out?" He found out Jason Momoa is going to be Aquaman. Oh, crap. So he starts working out.
And he's Wonder Man now.
Oh, yeah. And Jason Momoa is like, "Why is he working out?" They found out you're Aquaman. He's like, "So they can't be bulkier than me, right?" And they're like, so he starts working out. Oh, they're trying to get bigger to make it look believable that
Yeah.
they're going up against Aquaman. As long as they keep in the same, like, they don't mess with the suit, like, they're not too big for it. And so, like, it was just hilarious. Just imagining that. Same way with Top Gun Maverick. During the volleyball beach scene or whatever. It's not volleyball, it's like football or whatever.
Yeah.
The day before they were going to shoot that, all the guys went to the gym just to get, like, more tone and more big.
I heard about that. And then right after they were done with that scene, they were like going on like a whole food spree, just eating whatever. And then come to find out they needed to do reshoots for that scene.
It was like,
they were like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
all right.
I did hear about that. That was great.
That movie entirely though, it's such a
Fantastic movie.
It's a great movie.
I never seen the first one.
Really?
Never seen it. The only reason I watched the newer one is because my whole family just got like really hyped about it, and they're like, "Jason, we know you're a movie guy. You need to watch it." And I was like, "Okay." So we all watched it in the house, and when it came out, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good. And you don't need to watch the first one to really understand
No,
it either.
they show what happened in the first one and whatnot. The only thing they didn't show was like the relationship between Iceman and
Yes.
Maverick.
Yeah.
In the first one, it was like a bully trying to hurt this little guy who thinks he's all better and whatnot. In the movie, they're best friends, which they are, 100%, especially at the end of the movie. But yeah, but everything else, like what happens to his last partner, Goose, they showed that in the movie and whatnot. Their relationship with his son, Rooster. They show why they hated each other and whatnot. Well, I wouldn't say Maverick hated him. It's more like he feels bad that he did that. But regardless, his hatred is going to be faulting on him, and he knows why. So he's trying to mend that. I was like, such a great. I love all the characters. First of all, like Hangman is by far one of my most favorite characters. As much as I hate him, he's one of my most favorite characters in that whole movie. Phoenix and Bob. I love Bob entirely. As much as he's a nerd and whatnot, I just love him entirely.
I need to rewatch it.
It's such a great movie. I feel the same way with Snyder for that movie.
Really?
Yeah, I rewatch it like almost every 2 weeks.
I think
Whereas the Snyder Cut, I watch it like.
I'm starting to feel that way with Across the Spider-Verse. That movie's become like, one of my friends pointed it out to me. He's like, "This is really starting to become like a comfort movie for you since you've watched it like 5 times in the theaters."
To be fair, I feel the same way for Ready Player One when that movie came out.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like Easter eggs and everything like that. And
Yeah,
a lot of details I didn't see coming until even when I rewatch it nowadays, I still didn't see everything.
I'm kind of the same way with Across the
I
Spider-Verse
figured
too.
the same
I'm
way.
like, I'm noticing these things, but it's like, oh, I didn't realize that and that. And
I didn't know
then,
this character. I didn't know who that is. I didn't know he's there and whatnot.
Well, you know me, I'm like the biggest Spider-Man geek, so
Oh, yeah.
watching that movie, I was like, that's him.
Yeah, Still, I need to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a movie guy, you're missing out on
I know.
high quality. This is my favorite Spider-Man movie.
I figured, I know Ben Reilly's in there somewhere. I love Ben Reilly. He's by far.
You know who voices him?
I think I heard it. I forgot.
Andy Samberg.
That's what it was. Yep.
And he is great.
Now, I don't know
He's
why
pretty
I
great.
love Ben Reilly so much, but I love Ben Reilly
love Ben
Spider-Man entirely compared to.
He has a great storyline too.
Oh yeah, like compared to Spider-Man Noir, Miguel O'Hara. My brother loved Miguel O'Hara, and every other Spider-Man version.
He
out there.
delivers. Oscar Isaac delivers.
Oh, just 100%. But Ben Reilly, don't know why, he's been my go-to Spider-Man every single time. Every time I see him, I'm happy. Don't know why, but I just love him.
You're gonna love his design too. He's really Todd McFarlane like style.
Oh yeah,
it's beautifully done.
Mm.
Just the animation is. Oh, I could go on about that, but I think we're already out of time. So,
all right.
Thank you guys for watching and listening to the Broken Vinyl to this episode of the Broken Vinyl podcast. I am so happy. This was kind of a weird, like, random thing that came out of nowhere.
Oh, it did.
Really,
Literally
like
the day
we
before.
just decided to do it today,
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere. So, well, we just planned to, like, just meet up. We didn't really plan for the episode. So
This guy literally texted me. He's like, "Hey, call me. We got some business to discuss." Yesterday, I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Any reason to like hang out with you? I'm down." So, yeah, that was the only reason why I tried calling you like early in the morning. I wouldn't say morning. It is morning to me because it's not past like 2. Afternoon is like
Yeah.
2 for me.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it just came out of nowhere. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you came. I'm glad we're hanging out today.
I'm glad it's worked out.
Yeah. Maybe sometime we'll do this again. I mean,
I hope so.
I love having reoccurring guests,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully you guys enjoyed enough to the point where you guys would want them back just as much as I do. So if you enjoyed today's episode, leave a like, comment, share it, please. I'm almost at 200 subs. I would love to if you guys help me get there.
Good for you.
So yeah, man, I'm really excited
That's
about
awesome.
it. But until the next time, I love you guys and see you in the next one.